Let's take a stroll through the heart of this city that we know so well. Charities and shops with stories to tell. Community connections, that's the way. We light up local every day. From the fun to the heart to the city's soul. It's Marlborough pride. Let's roll. WMCT, it's where we'll be. Marlborough pride on your TV.
Hello, Marlborough. Ryan Maliar here. I'm the Executive Director at WMCT-TV, and thank you so much for tuning in to our first live episode of Community Connections. You know, we're always surveying the community and asking, what do you want from WMCT-TV? What do you want more of that we can do? And a big request is we want more live programming. We want to see people that we know from our community on cable television, online, so that we can see our friends and our neighbors and interact with them and learn what they're doing. And this is the platform for that. We're so excited to share a wealth of fantastic nonprofit organizations here in Marlborough we're going to be featuring here on the show, as well as some of our community sponsors who are sponsoring WMCT-TV. And I happen to have right here in front of me our latest edition of the Marlborough Mirror. This is our new print publication that we just started a few months ago. We've got episode number 4 for November 2025, which is on shelves right now all over Marlborough. And it's just full of great, fun and lighthearted stories about what's going on right here in your community. And it also has a great calendar over here of things that are happening. So if you're ever wondering, what am I going to do this weekend? There's lots of great city events happening in November. And I really wanted to make sure that you knew that tomorrow, November 4th, Tuesday, is our municipal election. So go out there and rock the vote. All of the details for voting are on the City of Marlborough website, which is marlborough-ma.gov, and you can find your polling location right there. Later on this week, on Wednesday, we're going to have Rick Lombardi from the Vin Bin downstairs. He's one of our newest community sponsors. Can't wait to talk about the Vin Bin. And I've said it before, we live right in the same building as them, and the bacon just wafts through this. Sometimes I can't help it. I just got to go down and get a chicken ridiculous. Fantastic business here in Marlborough. And then on Friday, we're going to be joined from some folks from Marlborough Economic Development Corporation talking about Restaurant Week. Restaurant Week is November 10th through the 16th here in Marlborough. And it is a great way to get out there and enjoy a taste of Marlborough. All of these restaurants do special tasting menus and have special deals. And it's just a great, I'm just salivating thinking about all the great food options here in Marlborough. But today, I have some really fantastic guests I'm really excited to welcome to the show. I have Lee Atherton. Welcome, Lee. And
thank you.
And Lee is joined by her service dog, Shadow. Hello, Shadow. Welcome. Lee is here from Phoenix Rising, Service Dogs Saving Lives, which is a wonderful nonprofit I can't wait to hear more about. And I'm also joined by Heidi Barella. Heidi is here from the Marlborough Regional Community Foundation, which is a nonprofit offset of the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
And both of these groups have a special tie, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today.
It's an honor to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yes, it's great.
And like I said, you know, we're all a little shaky that it's live today. We'll stumble along together. It'll be fun.
Sounds good.
Good.
Excellent.
Good to hear. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Lee, you reached out about Phoenix Rising, and this was not a group that I'd heard about before. So, where do we even start? You tell me.
We're kind of new. Phoenix Rising came about a couple of years ago. I have my service dog, Shadow, who I trained with the help of another organization, instead of getting him from an organization like Needs or one of those others who offers fully trained service dogs. Trained Shadow on my own, and Shadow was quite unexpectedly diagnosed with terminal cancer, a rare form of lymphoma, and it was devastating. It was the week before Thanksgiving that we got that news, and they said we only had Shadow for a month. And the next day, I heard from Tufts out in Grafton inviting Shadow into a clinical trial for this kind of cancer. And it's been quite a journey.
Yes.
Quite a journey. If Shadow made it through the chemo, we might have him for 6 more months. Long story short, he was declared cancer-free not long ago.
Congratulations.
He's the
Shadow.
longest surviving dog in this clinical trial, so that was a real gift.
Yes.
But knowing that I would lose Shadow, or expecting to lose Shadow early on, I found his successor, was encouraged to get the new puppy in our home so that Shadow could sort of
Acclimate.
train
Yes.
the new one,
Oh,
dog
yeah,
to
dog
dog.
trains dog.
Dog trains dog, yeah. So
No, this is what you do for Lee.
Yes.
this is exactly.
Yes.
So searched for the next puppy, and my daughter said, you and Rick, my partner, are all about phoenixes rising from the ashes. So you should, when you get your new puppy, you should name him Phoenix Rising.
Yeah.
So we did. When Phoenix is fully trained and ready to be out there doing the work that Shadow does, it will have cost me between $35,000 and $45,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did a fundraiser. Long story short, someone reached out to me and said, "Why don't you do an anthology of stories of service dogs who have made an impact?"
Yeah.
As a fundraiser. So that's a big project that I'm working on now, and it has just exploded. I initially was doing fundraising for my own dog, and now I am passionate and on a mission to do fundraising for people with PTSD and mental health disabilities, get their life-saving service dog.
So how does a service dog help someone with PTSD?
Lots of different ways.
Yeah.
Shadow will wake me from night terrors.
Wow.
Yeah. He alerts me to anxiety before it turns into a panic attack. Early on, when I first got him, I was not able to work, not able to be out in public for a couple of years. He helps make it safe for me.
Yeah.
To be out there in the big scary world.
Now, service dogs also go to people with other things as well. Of course, we know of people that are vision impaired,
Right.
and those dogs are trained specifically as well. And then there are even dogs that can sense when your glucose is low for people with diabetes. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, the breeder I got Phoenix from, she has a son who has epileptic seizures. I don't know if I shared this story with you. He had them so severely and so frequently that he was not able to be anywhere without an adult with him who recognized the signs. Now imagine being a 12, 13-year-old boy and having your parent with you 24/7.
No, that's when they're yearning to be independent.
Yeah.
Right,
Absolutely.
right. So she was able to find out, she did a lot of testing and blood work with her son to see what was changing physiologically for him and in the blood work and what were the scents. And she has trained a dog to pick up on what those changes are.
Wow.
And so the dog is able to alert someone. So he can go take a shower by himself. He can go
Yes.
hang out with his friends by himself.
Right.
Yeah.
So a service dog really brings a sense of independence and
Yes.
comfort.
Yes.
Yes. So have you been able to help anyone so far in getting their first service animal?
Not quite yet,
We're on the
spreading
road.
the word,
Okay.
but still working on getting the word out there
Right.
about service dogs and how can others support Phoenix Rising or
I would like to
anyone
just
else.
add one quick thing. I do know someone that their child needed a service dog throughout high school. And the reason I'm telling it now is to show how all different age groups.
Oh, yeah.
And she took it to college. a local Massachusetts college. It lived in the dorm with her. It was so awesome to have this support situation, and
Right.
this so much was changing in that person's life that they were able to really lean on a friend that was not judging anything. And I always
Right,
feel like when I meet
yes.
with you, that's what Phoenix Rising has sort of brought so many different stories, and the book that you're working on, and how each story is a little different, but there's a piece of similarity. It's the craziest thing how, even though I have, say, PTSD and you have some kind of medical thing like diabetes, they still have a partnership. It's so interesting and cool to hear all the different stories. And if you're not, so when I met Lee, I'm sort of scared of dogs in general. and I kind of led with that. I was like,
Yep.
okay, you can bring the dog, but I'm going to need I'm going to need a dog because I'm scared of dogs. It was the craziest thing. So I just think the
job.
Phoenix Rising message
doing good.
is so great for all walks of life, every person. So.
Yeah.
So PTSD, are we usually working with veterans? That's what I think of when I hear PTSD. Is
Veterans are the biggest population, but individuals who have gone through a traumatic experience.
right.
And that's what happened for me. I'm not a veteran of the military, but my PTSD came from abandonment. An interesting story. I had a brother who died, and I was the black sheep of the family a bit at the time because I stood against some of the dysfunction and such, and in particular against his drunk driving. When he died, the rest of my siblings and their families said they wanted nothing to do with me ever again, and my children. And in sharing that with someone, he asked the question, he said, so when's the first time your family ever abandoned you? And I started to say never. And it was like all these memories came flooding in. We don't need to go into that whole big story, but that was my PTSD.
Yeah.
The realizing that through major things in my life, my family wasn't there to take care of me.
Right.
That type of abandonment.
How did you come to the connection that a service dog might be a useful tool?
So I also serve our first responders as a chaplain. And being in that world of first responders, the person who asked me about my family is a retired policeman, the leader of the Greater Lowell Critical Incident Stress Management Team, which is how I volunteer. And he connected me, because I just fell apart at that meeting, with an organization that supports our first responders who have been through traumatic experiences, and spending time at On-Site Academy, which looks nothing like a school, it's really a farm. I met someone else who had a PTSD service dog and saw how that dog was taking care of them and helping them get back out into the world again.
Wow. Wow. Beautiful story.
And also the service dog cost, people don't really realize how much
Yeah,
service
say how much
dogs
it is
cost.
again. How much the cost of the dog,
When
the
Phoenix
training?
is trained, it will have cost me between $35,000 and $45,000.
Astronomical.
Astronomical.
So for oftentimes the people that could really benefit and use this companion the most are not the
They
people
cannot
that
afford
can't
it.
afford it. And this is something that could change someone's life,
Right.
but there's such a cost barrier.
That's right.
So that's what Phoenix Rising is
all about, yeah.
on the mission to do is
Yeah.
fill that gap.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So there are specific facilities then where service dogs are trained, and I guess it's a little different than getting your dog trained to heel and fetch.
Oh, so much more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think of the
yes.
training that like the fire department and police have for their dogs, and then they
Right.
have very specific rules as well as how the public can interact with them, and
Right.
and that all comes with it. It's a whole package, right?
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Um,
You
and
gotta
people
start 'em.
think
You
of
gotta
a
start them young too, right? Puppies.
I started Phoenix and Shadow both at 8 weeks old.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you think of a dog out in public, um, we see a dog interacting with people and doing great. But a service dog has to be in every piece of public. So you've got to have your dog trained to not react to the loud noise,
Right.
or if he or she reacts, to regain composure quickly, to walk across the grates in the road, right? Your dog has to be able to do that, and walk on all kinds of surfaces,
Wow.
interact with people, short people, tall people,
Yeah.
people in wheelchairs,
People with glasses
walkers,
and
people with-
beards. You know, I think of dogs
Exactly.
that don't like me because I've got my glasses on.
That's
Or
right.
even
Yeah.
age groups. Again, you know,
Right.
you might have kids around, you might not have kids around.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you're right. I am always impressed. And with today's world, service dogs are, you think, oh, anybody can get a service dog. Anybody can train. So never mind, do you need to train the dog? But how about the trainer of the dog? How do you train that person? You know, I mean,
That's
and those
right.
people are probably not as appreciated as they need to be, relating to all the needs out there. You know, whether it's traumatic, whether it's PTSD, a medical thing, you know, a safety piece, or just you see a lot of things where you might see on, you know, Facebook or somewhere like that, you might see, oh, this dog went over and protected when the bookcase was falling off the wall or something, and it protected a baby. You know, those kinds of training things that don't just happen, you know? I think that is just so amazing, seriously.
Yeah. I also think it's amazing for any person, especially someone who has PTSD, to then start a nonprofit and then put yourself out in public in a forum like this. Because if you're passionate,
I've got to.
you're so passionate about the mission, I think it helps you override the fears sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah?
That's true.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's picking up with, all right, Mom's feeling a little bit stressed right now. Let me look at her and make sure she's okay.
It's just Ryan. It's just me.
And you noticed, you shared with us sitting here, that your PTSD sort of made it so that you couldn't go out in public. And
That's
here
right.
you are talking with somebody that you've just met, or bringing yourself to a place where you're like, okay, I want more people to know
The
Yeah.
value.
both
the-
sides
Right.
of the getting a service dog.
Right.
That is tough.
Well, let's
So-
talk
And I
about both
think-
sides of a service dog then, because we know how you interact with it. But how are we as the public? What are the rules for interacting or not interacting with a service
Generally,
dog?
you don't interact
You
with
don't.
a service dog.
Yeah.
You can ask the handler, may I pat your dog? Or may I interact with your dog? Some service dogs you can.
Yeah.
So one of Shadow's roles, especially early on, was to make interacting comfortable. So once he was able to help me know that the area was safe, then the next step is, how do I get out of my little shell and say hello?
Yeah.
And
Well,
a dog is a great way to help that
people
happen.
love dogs, and it makes good television too. You know,
That's
we're going to get great ratings on this episode. But it's true.
Right.
People gravitate towards dogs. So you can't take your walk in the park by yourself in solitude anymore. Now,
Yes.
now you're sort of
So
forced
he-
to interact.
So it's interesting. He opens the door to
Yeah.
interacting and is between me and the person I'm interacting
You have the
with.
authority.
Wow,
So
that's so
that-
interesting.
And then he picks up on my stress level increasing, my heart rate increasing, and my blood pressure increasing. And he'll take steps to to make the space between us a greater space,
If necessary.
so that I feel I've got my little safe zone.
Wow, amazing.
And I talk about service dogs saving lives. Shadow saved my life twice.
Twice.
And my son has a service dog who saved his life. And the way Shadow did for me was back in those early years when I was going through all of this, I was in a deep, dark place and got to a point where I was feeling suicidal. And I don't know how Shadow picked it up. Had he not been there, I quite likely would have just sped up and driven into a tree. He picked up on it somehow, and he just, instead of sitting calmly in the seat next to me, was all like licking my face and
Doing everything you
getting
could.
my attention and distracted me, and
That's a good word.
long enough for that impulse to settle a bit,
Wow.
and for me to get grounded again and
Yeah.
remind myself that that wasn't what I wanted to do.
No, and we're glad you're here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So glad you're here.
And other people need to be saved.
They do. They do. I see what you've started here, and I see the potential, and I hope other people will as well. You know.
I hope so.
You know, that's all we can really hope for is that to let people in that this is a service dog, not an emotional support dog.
Right?
This is something very special and specific,
Much more specific.
and trained for a very specific reason, and capable of doing so much more than we could ever dream of.
Yep.
You know, yeah. Well, we're going to take a really quick pause and hear a word from our sponsors, but don't go anywhere. We've got more amazing stories from Lee, and we're going to hear a little bit more from Heidi as well about the Marlborough Regional Community Foundation. Stay tuned.
It's shout-out time. WMCT-TV would like to thank our sponsors for supporting community media here in Marlborough, Massachusetts. Drumet Hair Salon and Day Spa, offering services including extensions and keratin smoothing, coloring and blonding, precision cutting, and more. Drumet Hair Salon and Day Spa is located at 31 Spring Hill Ave in Marlborough, Massachusetts. The Coffee Loft. Coffee and community is their motto, as they serve up lattes, cold brew, tea, sandwiches, and pastries too. The Coffee Loft is open 7 days a week at 406 Lincoln Street, here in Marlborough. The Vin Bin, bringing you the best in wine, cheese, brew, and gourmet sandwiches for 20 years and counting. The Vin Bin is located at 91 Main Street in Marlborough. Author and illustrator Mark Martirosian, host of TV's Drawing with Mark on WMCT-TV. Mark is offering free downloadable activity pages for kids of all ages. Email pennyarcadecreative@gmail.com for more information. Leah Owen, marketing and business consultant. Leah's team members and partners share her belief that great organizations, from businesses to nonprofits and more, deserve to be seen, heard, and celebrated. From social media strategy to community events, this boutique marketing agency helps local brands and organizations grow with purpose and personality.
Thanks for sticking around. As you know, I've been here in the studio with Lee Atherton from Phoenix Rising Service Dogs Save Lives, along with Shadow, who's been really terrific today, and I'm sure terrific every day, you know? So we're talking about starting a new nonprofit, a new charitable organization, and you know, WMCT-TV is a nonprofit, and we were talking before the show on how difficult it is sometimes to reach the people that can make a difference,
Right.
and just to let people know what services you're providing, period. So I'm just curious if you have any major sponsors and how that journey is looking for you.
I do. So you mentioned the book that I'm working on. Each story in the book is hopefully going to be sponsored by a person, an organization. So our first sponsor came from the church I'm serving. They made a wonderful donation to Phoenix Rising to help get the book off the ground. But I also have the wonderful support of the Marlborough Regional Community Foundation. People like to make donations to real organizations and nonprofit organizations. Becoming a nonprofit organization is a challenge.
It's hard. It's
so
hard.
I'm fiscally sponsored by Heidi's group, by the foundation, which makes that much more possible.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell me about the Marlborough Regional Community Foundation.
I always have to look at a piece of paper.
I have to look at it
too.
because this is, I'm used to saying the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce,
Right.
and they're so involved here in the community, and this is the nonprofit branch piece of it. Is that the right way to put it?
That is, yeah.
Okay, so explain a little bit more.
Sure, and I'm the president of that group, and we've been working hard to get the word out about what we do, but it's a kind of an older group. It started in 1998 with the Chamber of Commerce needing a 501c3 piece to allow them to do different things or support organizations like Leaves. And it actually allows them to use our 501c3 and collect donations and apply for potential grant funds that are available and things like that. The foundation manages about $150,000 within the community, some our own money, some fiscal sponsorships, and we participate or will help them develop projects or ways to collect different funds to do these projects. We have an application where they apply to us, they tell us how and what they're looking to do, who they are, and that kind of thing. And then we go through a sort of a rubric where we see how it fits into our mission, and we have a great website that tells about that. And it's a really nice process to learn about different groups and understand and be there to support. Is there something they're going to do long term? And so we're supporting them while they're working on their 501c3 application, which is an extensive project in itself.
Yes.
And so we are even looking into helping teach people how to do that, teaching local businesses, teaching small groups, grassroots, just things that we want to help a politician, or we want to help, gardening in the city of Marlborough or something like that. We're able to help them develop. We do have some other groups that are very important in this community too. And so reaching out to the chamber and looking at the subparts is so important, whether you have a business or not. Your chamber is very, very much there to support you in things that the community has and does. And I'm going to plug you a little bit because I love this Marlborough Mirror, and I do want to say one of the things that's important in a community like this is the calendar, because you don't always know when is she doing a presentation at the library? When is she offering you to come and learn about Phoenix Rising? And so having that is what these kinds of groups like mine, like yours, are really about, and how we can support each other.
So as the foundation, there's this vetting process for you to bring on groups that you're going to support. Do they have to be nonprofits? Or if someone is doing a fundraiser, maybe there's a fire in a home and someone needed to make, and they're trying to fundraise for a personal emergency or a funeral or medical bills. Are there ways for people like that to get involved with this?
Yes. Yep. You want to go to the website and fill out the application. Any of those get reviewed. We'll even give a little bit of feedback as to how this project could be fiscally sponsored by us, why it isn't going to be, but we've gone through a lot. We've had people that have passed away and they want to have a golf tournament to give a scholarship for them, for that person's memory, and we work with those people. So it is definitely something that with different projects or different things that happen in the community, they should reach out for sure.
Now you said scholarships
to
too,
know.
and of course we have to mention
That
all of the student scholarship. That's a huge part of what you do.
It is, and going back to 1998, it is really something that they've prided themselves on. It started with the business community, and if you're a student at any of the schools here in Marlborough, and we also have worked over time with other schools, but AMSA, NIA, Marlborough Public Schools, we give a scholarship. You know, it's important to continue in this day and age, apply for those scholarships. We evaluate the students. We can even give feedback on that end, you know, but it's a long, long history of giving scholarships in Marlborough.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a great piece of the chamber, I have to say.
And for other chamber members who might not know about this, how do people get involved to be a part of this foundation and do the work you're doing? Because it sounds like it's fun too.
Well,
it's not
true.
because yes, it's money, and it's, you know, money's not always fun. It's fun when you have it, but it's working with money for a mission, and that is so fulfilling. And that's what any of these nonprofit and charity groups are. That's why it's fulfilling to work with them, because it's fun.
Right.
You're going to meet great people like Lee and like yourself, but. So what's it like? Do you meet monthly, quarterly?
We do meet monthly right now. It used to be quarterly, but we found that it was hard to get anything really going. You know, you and I did talk when I first got here about different things that perhaps it's too short of a time. You know, you need a little more time to sit together and get to know each other and learn about the sort of the focus and why it's important. And it came about because business people here in Marlborough that were part of the chamber wanted a group that was sort of developing new businesses and teaching and things like that. But the group actually had a road race that started all the way back in 1998 that was part of this community for years and years and years. And unfortunately, COVID sort of changed things and changes in the leadership of this group. You know, you can only do it for so long. And so those groups, those people and things like that, the road race went away. And this year we partnered again with a very important group here in the chamber and in Marlborough and Sudbury at the Wayside Inn. And we brought back that road race that was such a staple. And we're really looking for new members, new ideas, new people that on any board, you know, being on a board has sort of become kind of like a swear word, so to speak. And people they shy away and they think, oh, that's going to take up some of my time. But it's so important to be part of your community and finding that niche. And boards like ours are willing to take on whatever you want to do. You want to have a group like Lee's, we can help them too. And so you do need to find what you love but also maybe your love can be added to our board or our foundation, you know? And so although we're always looking. All boards are always looking. So if you're interested in your community at all, get out there. There are boards that you don't have to overcommit. You know, you could be a friend of the board and be part of it. You could be and I mentioned our road race. You could be a runner that wants to give to some kind of road race that isn't, you know, 100 years old, but is sort of coming back, you know? And so I want to just circle back to how we help Lee. We, as a group, are able to help her find ways to bring funds in. She can go to a person or another group and say, you can donate to My Phoenix Rising and make the donation to this 501c3 that gets all the funds used for her. They're used to promote the book you mentioned, promote the mission of training a dog. This first project she has is perhaps doing the book, but also perhaps there's a place where we're going to make one of those thermometers where we need 40,000 so we can teach one dog, and we're at 5. Now we're at 6. Now we're at 7.
Oh, Lee likes that idea.
I know. And so we are your partner to get those funds going and be able to get donations.
Also, they are a big encouragement. You know, when I for a while, I was like, is this really going to happen? I'm passionate about it and I'm determined. And then I met with Heidi, and hearing her excitement was like, yes, this can be real. This can happen.
It is real.
Right.
Yeah.
So that piece is also very important.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me about this more about we've touched on it briefly, but the book is really one of your big projects right now.
Yes, it is. The book, the title of it will be Phoenix Rising: Stories of Service Dogs Saving Lives. And my goal is to have about 20 people write their story about the impact their service dog has made for them. I have a great coach who has training for how do you write your story. And she'll do the editing and publishing and all of that. And then the book itself can be part of a fundraising campaign.
Yeah.
And you have good experience in a book writing project like this, don't you?
I do. Yep.
You've written a book before?
Yeah. So I brought in a copy of Voices of the 21st Century, which is a similar book that my story is in, my story of how Phoenix Rising came to be. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So any contributions so far from other people that have service dogs? And
I've got about 5 authors.
Okay.
So I'm still on the search.
yeah.
So if anyone watching has a service dog or knows someone with one and
Oh, I already
has
know.
a story to tell.
I've got people in my head right now.
Nice.
Okay.
Good.
Connections.
Excellent.
Community connections.
And it is
Yes.
good.
Very
That's
good.
what you need. You need somebody watching to say, oh my gosh, it would be therapeutic just to tell my story.
Yes.
Never mind
Right.
my dog, but just to get with someone, your friend or your person that's going to do the editing, and just to get it on paper. You know, it's again, back to your newsletter, that we don't have a lot of newspapers today. You know, sometimes it's important just to be able to say, here's my story. I wrote it down and I want other people to learn and get joy from it. And that, I was very impressed to hear that that's sort of where you're going with this, you know? It's
Oh,
easy to
but
click
you don't
around.
even have to be a good be the best writer.
No,
Absolutely.
You know, like half the time when I'm doing something here at the studio, I'll talk into my phone into the voice to text transcription and I'll ramble. But even if you, and I'm good at it now, but even if someone would just talk to you and have the conversation and you can
Right.
ask them, oh, so what happened there? And you get it, and then you have the audio transcription, and then you can,
Yes.
And then
you
take that.
and then you take that.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to. So don't be afraid that you're not an amazing writer either. You've got a story to tell,
That's right.
and it's an amazing story. I'm sure if your stories are anything like the ones that are out there,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing. And you know, you touched down on a thing about a seeing eye dog. I remember in all of my life, near my grandmother's house, there was a seeing eye dog, and that person walked around a lot. And it's even that is a story of how in my head, my age group, is here's a seeing eye dog. How did we get to where we are today? It started out there for a mission, a job to do. But there's so many jobs in the middle to get it to where we are today,
Yeah.
you know, and how important it is.
Yeah.
And it's such a great mission, really, Lee.
Well, also
Thank you.
also important to take that step away and see how your life has changed. And because when you live a certain way day after day, sometimes it takes someone else to give you that perspective of how amazing this is, that what a blessing and what an amazing gift Shadow has been to your life.
God,
And you certainly don't take it for granted, but sometimes it takes that little reminder, and maybe someone watching this today with a service animal will say, yes, it's not just about me. My dog has a story to
It's
tell
about,
as well.
yeah, it's about us.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Yeah, I
Amazing.
love it.
Amazing. Well, we're going to wrap up, but I'd love for you to just share where people can get in touch and find out more information about everything that you have going on.
Thank you. So we've got a great Phoenix Rising website.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Phoenix Rising SDSL for servicedogssavinglives.com. They can also give me a call or shoot me an email,
Perfect.
which I believe you're going to have on
it's
there,
all
right?
up there. Yep.
It's all
Nice.
up there.
And how about for the chamber?
And like you, I always
check
want
the
to
cheat
check my
sheet.
cheat,
Yep,
my
yep, yep.
cheat sheet.
I've got it right
correct?
here too. www.marlboroughchamberfoundation.org.
Yes, and we did work locally with a great person who helped us with the website. And you know, websites are always in flux
Yep.
and always growing. But definitely an email and a contact us in any regard. As far as the chamber, it's something that you should know is your partner and available to help you with different questions.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you so much.
This has been a great first show, wouldn't you
This
say?
has been wonderful.
Yes.
I love
Thank
it.
you so much.
No, thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. And thank you, Marlborough, for tuning in to our first lunch break show of Community Connections. Like I said, we're going to be doing this a ton. We have so many wonderful guests booked up through November all the way into December. We're averaging about 3 live shows a week. So if you don't watch it live, you can always watch the replay on WMCT-TV.com. All the replay videos will be on our Facebook and our YouTube as well. And of course, make sure you pick up a copy of the Marlborough Mirror. It's all over the city. And if you don't find it anywhere, well, then maybe you know somewhere where we should distribute it. So if you're a business owner or if you're a doctor and you've got a waiting room or a hair salon or anywhere where people wait, please let us know. We'll gladly drop off a whole stack for you if you think you have a place where people will enjoy this fun Marlborough content. And of course, this is available for download on our website as well. Also, if you are a nonprofit or a charitable group here in Marlborough, Massachusetts, or the surrounding areas, I'd love to have you on this program as well to tell your story and all of the wonderful, wonderful work that you're doing. Thanks for watching. I'm Ryan Maliar. Take care.